Okay, hey there, this is Piper again. Right, I'm going to do some Sony Vegas tutorials. Made some intros and outros on my channel, and I'm going to show you how I made these. My friend Heaven Biscuits, he bought Sony Vegas, and he wanted to give me some tips and advice on how to create intros. So I'm going to start with the basics, and hopefully we'll build up from there to where we can start using things like green backgrounds and key chroma and color chroma and stuff. So the first thing we'll do is we'll add a picture, and this is just like a total war picture. We can make the the edit area bigger by using the mouse wheel button. This can help us to get more accurate with how big we want our things to be resized. To resize anything, you get your mouse arrow and move it over to the end of the picture, and you can see there's a box there with two arrows, and you can resize the picture by doing this. So press play, and you can see on the top right area, this is what we've created. You can add in like a fade, intro and a fade, by going to the top right hand corner of the picture like that. And that'll fade out, and the same as you can fade in as well. Right. Okay, the next thing is you can do a crossfade between two pictures. So this is what we have selected, the black watch tartan. Move it over, and you can see the crossfade is demonstrated by that sort of symbols there, and you can see it's 22.22 seconds long, so we'll make it just over a minute long, and that's quite a nice crossfade there. A trick to note that you can see that the Rome guy is in HD format, whereas the tartan is in, I think, 4:3. So what we can do is we can right click on the tartan, go down to switches, and it says here maintain aspect ratio, and that basically maintains the ratio, the original aspect of the picture. So we can take this off, and it'll make it the same size as the rest of the pictures or media in our video. So you watch this now, you can see the borders are taken off, so that's much nicer. We can make this slightly more interesting by adding a transition instead of a crossfade. So we can go to transitions, and for example we can select a transition and drag it over. You can play around with these things here. These are just the attributes of the crossfade. So start with the bog standard one, play. That's pretty good. Quite a good one is to use what's called a flash crossfade. Gives it sort of an explosive, sort of dramatic attribute to it. So what I'll do is we'll go back to the original crossfade, and you see that button there, you can remove selected plugin, so that removes your crossfade. We'll put in a flash crossfade. That's quite a good crossfade there, and you can play around with like how much flash we want. So a trick here is to, when you play around with crossfades or anything, always select on the timeline, and that'll give you that'll give you a advantage because it allows you to see things better. In my version of Sony Vegas, you can animate, and that'll show you where things are as well. However, if you've got an early version of Vegas or a later version, you may not have that feature. However, it's very good to use. At the bottom you have sync cursor to media timeline, and that basically means that when that's selected, when we're playing the crossfade, and then we select on it, it automatically goes to where we are watching it. So basically, like that represents where we are there. If I was to deselect that, it wouldn't be synced. That's quite a good piece of information there. So another thing to remember is if add in some more things here. For example, say everything's synced up, and just for example we discovered we made a mistake somewhere. So we want to make that slightly shorter. What we can do is there's a button up here called auto ripple. So right now, if we were to make that shorter, nothing would change. Everything's as it is. But if we auto ripple it, everything gets moved down. So it's quite a good way to keep everything synced up if you've got some sort of pattern, or if it's synced to music, you can use auto ripple just to keep it all together. Makes it slightly easier. Okay, that's part one of the tutorial over. I'm going to make further tutorials to show other features of Vegas after this. Thanks for watching.